Joe. Hey, Frederick. How is everybody? Good to see you on this Monday. If you could please go ahead and share. If there's anybody up at this hour of the day, since everybody probably hasn't been sleeping well, maybe they're sleeping in. I know it's late on the East Coast, but good morning, feeling much better. Each day, good. Good. All right, we're inviting in our Cloud Hub people. Good morning, Stephanie. Hey, Linda. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Frederick Peace. Good. Thank you for sharing. The Replacements. Good to see you. Let me get this fixed. Sorry that I'm having to move this around. Alan, good morning. Loretta, good to see you. Good to see you this morning too, Paula. Let's see if we have our people on Cloud Hub today. Hey, Bonnie, good morning. Good morning. Remember, if you want to see us on Cloud Hub, you go to cloudhub.com/Susan Knowles. Hey, Christian, good to see you. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. Good morning, Grateful Mike. Good to see you. I'm a little bit sideways, but hey, there we go. 890-647-982. I bet that's not a troll. Hey, hot wife. Good morning, Susan from Danville, Kentucky. Hey, Bobby. How are you, Danielle? I'm here. Jelani, Chicago Pops, good to see you. A lot happening in Chicago. Okay, I'm going to quickly read part of, hey, Noel, Psalm 27, and then we will get started. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell. Though an army may encamp against us, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident. Amen. All right. Hot wife, you have 2 accounts or something? Never enough. How are you? Candy, good morning. Wanda, Patrick, good morning from the war zone. No kidding. Good morning. Okay. So, a lot has been happening, and what can I say? I'm sure that you've seen it just as I have. There's a ton of curfews in place all over many states and sometimes over many cities within those states. Right now, Beverly Hills and Santa Monica in LA have a 1 o'clock in the afternoon, curfew for businesses, and 4 o'clock citywide. So after 4 o'clock in LA, nobody should be out on the streets. So just because you thought we were going to be opening up, oh, well, we're not. Hey, Stephanie, you're on Cloud Hub now. We're not going to be opening up because nobody wants us to open up. Hey, Adam. So also in other news, there's a new Ebola epidemic in the Congo. It's like a war zone here in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago Pops, you had 46 people that were shot over the weekend. And I think, let's see, how many? 16 died? Yeah, I'd say it's a war zone in Chicago. I certainly would. It's crazy. Hey, Kim, good to see you. So we have a potential Ebola cases coming back again. Hey, Dennis Martin. Hello, Linda. So again, if you at this point don't believe that we're in the end times, I don't know what's going to convince you. It's an insurrection, Linda said. Congo constantly has Ebola. Well, they've constantly now got an epidemic. So let's hope they don't come here with it. Hey, Sally, good morning. Susan and Patriots. Good morning, Sally. Hey, Lisa. Boy, I tell you, Minneapolis is a war zone. Talk about war zone. I mean, there's not too many places that aren't a war zone right now. Washington, D.C. last night, just burning as much as they could, set the St. John's Church, an Episcopal church, on fire there in Washington, D.C. Hey, Barbara, looks like they may have gotten that one out. Tried to get into the White House, injured a lot of Secret Service who were trying to protect the president. And, not good anywhere around. Now, for me, this weekend, I kind of left my part of the city. I went down to the coast. You wouldn't even know anything was going on at the coast. God bless you all from Azusa, California. Thank you, Lisa. I'm in California, too, in Southern California. But I went to the beach, and you would never have known anything was going on. Hey, Carol Williams, our mayor and top cop, has let us down. You think Chicago pops, but then you knew that was going to happen. Hey, Ellie Mae, your mayor is too busy trying to get a haircut. Protest planned here in Tulare today. Ironically, Tulare Sheriff's Department and Tulare PD announced 8 hours ago they were heading to Oakland to assist with protests. Guess if things get out of hand here, we're on our own. I know, Stephanie. Good morning. And the virus is where? What virus, Robin? What virus are you talking about? Hey, Nick. There is no virus. The mayor in Chicago is trash, Thomas said. Hey, Carol Williams, Cheryl Lynn, how are you? Thomas Kincaid said it's a war zone in Chicago every day. Yeah. I guess the coronavirus decided to move back to China. Well, no, what happened was the coronavirus got cured by the protest. Prayers for everything going on. Prayers for our president and his family, Robin said. Tulare PD are headed to Oakland. Yeah, I know, Alan. It's just great timing. Just great timing. Riots were started in Reno yesterday in the morning, but National Guard was there in 15 minutes. It was over, Bonnie said. Our mayor walked with them earlier in the day, Sally said. Yeah. It's going to take the National Guard to get this under control. And unless the blue states are willing to call in the National Guard, unless the president calls them in, I don't know what they're going to do. Honestly, I really don't. I mean, over the weekend, I've seen so many horrible things. You can't watch it too much because it's just too painful. Had protests and riots in Atlantic City last night. They put an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in place. Loretta, they even have that in Arizona now. Twitter is full of anti-Trump hashtags. Trump needs to ignore the media. People see the truth. Yep. Well, they're mad at President Trump because he's going after Antifa now and listing them as a terrorist organization. So they don't like that when you try to put them out of business. Love the coronavirus moved back to China, Sally said. Our governor did call them in. Yeah, that's good. Well, they haven't really called them in California too much. I think they may have had to in LA. Hey, Molly. But now what we're going to do is we're going to punish everybody. We're going to put everybody on a curfew. We have 65,000 National Guard deployed around the United States, Trump fans said. Susan, are you feeling... Cindy, just because I cough, it's okay. Everybody, whenever I cough, it's okay. If I'm not feeling well, I will tell you. Where are the Marxist thugs' parents? Do they have parents or were they hatched from under a rock? We are in a war, and as in any war, the troops need to be called out to deal with this and finish it off, Dennis said. Yep. Hey, Lee. I guess National Guard were in Michigan filling up with gas last night. Got to take out their leader, George Soros, Thomas said. Well, I mean, it's obvious that these people are being paid. De Blasio's daughter was arrested. Oh, well. Hey, Cully. There's bricks piled up, just waiting for people to use, kind of dropped off in the city, different cities around. There are water bottles that the Minneapolis police have found hidden in trees that have gasoline in them. There are videos that I've seen of people who appear to be handing out money to kids to get them to riot. I think there really is a very active Antifa. Oh, there is. There is. So there's always an actual Antifa movement. Yeah, prayers for Minneapolis. Prayers for the entire country. Somebody's doing setup ahead of their arrival. Yep, Antifa didn't beat and stomp that Dallas store owner. See, well, that's the thing, Michael. We're going to now go, oh, well, it's just Antifa. No, it wasn't just Antifa. There have been Black people that appear not to be a part of Antifa who are injuring people, looting, and things of that nature. There are white people and Asian people and no doubt Hispanic people that I've seen in these videos that probably or could not possibly be with Antifa. And so we can't blame it all on Antifa. You can blame it on people who are crazy, and I don't mean mentally ill, I mean crazy, for doing the things that they're doing, for destroying the country because they are so angry they can't control themselves. Is this a diversion because DOJ is closing in on previous administration's corruption? Bonnie, a lot of people think that way. They think that's true. They did hear, but store owner moved the brick inside his business. BLM is funded by Soros as well. Yeah. Thank God firefighter was able to save the church in Washington, D.C. Yes. So, I mean, hey, Gary, there are people who are nefarious, whether they're Antifa, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. If you're doing wrong, then you're doing wrong. Major temper tantrum for Trump is still your president. Exactly, Robin. So you have to remember that. They now want you to believe, hey, Shell Shocker, they now want you to believe that it's all Antifa. No, it's not all Antifa. And Antifa now wants you to believe it's white supremacists. Were there white supremacists there? Wouldn't surprise me. They stir them, and these are people just waiting to be wild. Barbara said, Antifa, LOL, what about the KKK? Well, what about the KKK? I think Nat Turner, there are so many people there from so many different groups. However, Antifa is one of the biggest pronounced groups that need to be labeled as a terrorist group. I think they already labeled the other people terrorists. Anybody who tries to scare people and into submission and terrorize them, in my opinion, ought to be labeled a domestic terrorist. Good people on both sides. Well, there are, Motown. There are good people on all sides. And there are bad people on all sides. So, I don't know what the point of that is. WS narratives are their counter, just propaganda, white supremacists. I don't know, Aussie Nick. I think there's just thieves and criminals taking advantage. I think it's all of that, Diane. It was a joke. Okay. Need to arrest and prosecute Soros and seize his funds for funding terrorism and treason. CNN, blah, 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 media on the ground reporting seemed to be supportive of violent demonstrations. It seemed that way. It really seemed that way. And unaware, educated people on all sides. There's good and bad people in everything. I don't care what you're talking about. Hey, Sharon. Much love back to you, too. Thugs and criminals, John Mott said, yes. So, you can't point to any one group and say, it's all you or it's all you. No, it's a lot of yous out there that are causing the issues. Let's see. Trump labeled them as a terrorist organization. Yep. Antifa. Yep. They are the whole supremacy. And here's the thing. I was looking at something last night. I think it was the OC Antifa, so Orange County Antifa, whatever. And they're saying, hey, you know what? We fooled you guys. We infiltrated you a long time ago. We know who all of you are. We know that some of you that are coming from universities and things of that nature. And what happened after that? Twitter took them down. They'd been on Twitter forever. And so when they called out and said, we're not really Antifa, we just infiltrated, Twitter took them down. So what can they do to stop this is the question. It's called the National Guard. But Democrats and left-wing are the worst. Media to stop using words like riots and looting. Yeah. Susan, all I do is invite followers. Apparently it causes people problems. I don't know what to do. I don't understand how you're inviting followers, Robin. You're sharing when I ask you to. So what's the problem? I don't see that's a problem to invite people in. So I don't know. You'll have to correct me. I don't know. I saw that with OC and Tifa. What's that all about? Good girl, a good gal. I have no idea. No, I haven't seen Judy. I haven't heard from her either, Lee. Soros lives out of the USA. Yeah, of course he does. But again, if you are unable to control yourselves, it won't hold in since they aren't outside the USA. They could be domestic terrorists, Kim. I really don't know what the problem is. I just share from the beginning. Robin, I don't know what the problem is, so don't worry about it. If somebody has a problem with it, that's their problem. Adopt a local business, protect your own community, stand up. I think that, again, if you're unable to control your anger, when you are in a, quote, peaceful protest that turns into violence where you're committing crimes, then you are a criminal. You have become a criminal. I don't care what your motives were for coming there. Maybe you came there to be peaceful, but if it doesn't end up that way and you commit crimes, then you're a criminal yourself. And then what needs to be done? Those people need to be arrested. Those people need to be prosecuted, just like any other person who commits a crime. I mean, we've got to quit saying, oh my gosh, well, it's because, listen, George Floyd's brother came out today and said, everything that you're doing it's almost like it's defiling his brother, because this is not about George Floyd anymore. This is about who knows what. It's about anarchy. It's about destroying the United States. It's about destroying people and making people hate each other. Yeah, if you stand in front of cars and break windows, the occupants will run you over. Some of these riders are going to lose. They are burning horses alive in trailers. Oh, my God. Don't even tell me that, Kim. I can't even think protesters will get COVID now that they were not social distancing. Fiddlesticks, I don't think anybody cares. I really don't think anybody cares, because we were interested in COVID until all this started. And then all of a sudden, COVID, what do you mean COVID? How is looting and destroying businesses honoring George Floyd? It isn't, Ellie Mae. Not in any way, shape, and form. It isn't. Has nothing to do with it. Even Floyd's family doesn't like this. That's right, Stephanie. They don't. They said you're disgracing their brother, George Floyd, by doing what you're doing. And do you think that they care? Do you think that the rioters care that George Floyd's family doesn't appreciate this and wants it to stop? An Alabama video came out of a black man threatening to burn a suburb close to me. Well, I'm sure there are, you can find a video of anybody doing crazy stuff. Joyce Meyer says it's okay to get angry. It's human nature. If what you do with that anger is when it becomes sin. Well, it's whether or not you're going to be appropriate or inappropriate in releasing that anger. This all started years ago. They get triggered and they are trying to bring Trump down. If you don't know, look at this. We went from COVID and closing down an entire globe, but mostly, this country. We've closed this country down. And then when it's like, okay, what can we do? Let's get back up. Let's open the business. Let's get started again. Then here comes round 2. And after this is over, guess what? There's going to be round 3, because they're going to keep doing whatever they can. Who cares where Dr. Fauci is? They're going to do whatever they can to keep this country closed down, to keep the charges of racism going, having one race pit it against another. Let me just tell you something. I've seen some black people on, whatever news agency saying, well, what you need to do is you need to denounce racism. Let me just tell you something. I don't know people, and I haven't seen people, I don't hear of them often, of people going, yes, I love racism. Oh, I hate everybody. It's not the way this world really is in this country even. But they want you to believe that. That's the narrative. Did all White House burn last night? No, of course not. And so Antifa has been around a while, did not realize they go back at least 12 years. They go back a long time. But the point is, people, for the most part, they want you to believe the entire country is racist, and they're not. And I tell you, here's what's racist. Assuming somebody with a different skin color than yourself is a racist. That's racist. On a video, some guys with guns were protecting their property when unarmed looters came up to them. The looters said the damage shouldn't matter because insurance will pay for it. Who do they think pays for the insurance? This is their mentality. Vicky said there is a difference between anger and righteous anger. Christine said, replying to Vicky, some businesses don't have insurance. Yeah. I say the COVID trackers in Google show us who these people are. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Susan Mully said, America is the most no, they're not. No, Nat Turner, whatever your name is. No, they're not. That's what you and people like you who like to spread hate want people to believe. They're not racist. People don't treat other people like that. As I've told you before, California is probably one of the most diverse states that there are. People get along out here. Well, for the most part, until somebody stirs the pot and pays people to go out and spread hate. Otherwise, people are like letting other people live their lives. They're saying hello. They give food to each other. They treat each other well. I'm not a racist. I'm tired of that line. Stepping back, I could care less. George was black. Barbara said, replying to Vicky, oh, okay. Has the whole White House ever come under siege like it did over the weekend? No, Linda, it hasn't. Christians love people. America is Christian. But see, they don't understand that, Cindy, because, you know, if you're Christian, you love everybody. You don't care what the color of their skin is. And I know people want you to care what the color of somebody's skin is. Okay, I can appreciate somebody for their different culture or whatever. Yeah, what about the autopsy? Well, all we know is he didn't die of having somebody put a knee on his neck. At least that's what they say. But anyway, so Christians love everybody. And that's another reason, I guess, that people hate Christians, because they don't like that. They don't like the fact that you don't hate other people just because they have a different skin color. I don't see how they're saying it's a race issue when you have a black and white fighting side by side. It's cop issue and rogue cop at that. Dawn, you know, and let me just say, you know, we're still, and a lot of people we're still leveling judgment on what happened that day when George Floyd died. What happened, number one, that we absolutely know for sure, it was a tragedy that a man died. Other than that, we have no idea yet what happened. We have some reports coming out about the medical examination, what the medical examiner said. We have some reports coming out on different videos. We have different angles of the video. There are some we don't know what happened. We have a lot of people like Sean King saying, oh, well, they were fighting in the back. We have no idea what happened. I, for one, am willing to wait for all of the evidence, all of it, not part of it, all of it, for the witness statements, for the police statements, for the medical examiner, for, everything, anything and everything that people may have. I'm wanting to hear all of it. So far, all I hear, and even having the Minneapolis police chief coming out and saying what he did, you're prejudicing everything when you do that. They can just let up every time they can't just let up every time someone's like says I can't breathe. Police officers hear that all the time. But anyway, what I was going to say, when you come out as a police chief and you give a statement as to it being murder, as it being this, that, the other, that all cops are all guilty the same, you've prejudiced the case. Do you know, does anybody not care about the law anymore? And the answer is probably no. The answer is probably no. So what we need to do, if we do have any belief in the justice system at all, is we need to allow the justice system, not the social media system, to do the job and figure out with experts what happened and who, if any, are to be blamed, and how many, all that, all those questions. Watching the video, we can't do that. Hey, Susan, the devil knows he has a short time. He's going crazy. Absolutely, Blue. You better believe it. I'd like to know what his other 17 complaints over the years against it. Dawn, who knows? And we don't even know that's true. You don't even know for sure if there were complaints against him. You don't know. That's what we're being told. You don't know. Insurance won't, because it's an act of war. More white people murdered by cops and more black own their own race. More black murder their own race, Sally said, which is true, but nobody cares. My husband's a cop. He said the cop, Mr. Floyd's neck, the other cop should have knocked him off. Well, and we're also hearing, Cindy, that was part of department policy that you could do something like that. Now, here's what I think. If that's true, get rid of the department policy of allowing anybody to do that. That I've said before, even connected to this case or not, I don't think anybody should be putting their knee on anybody's neck. Hey, Rob, but remember again, the report we are told from the medical examiner did not show that putting a knee on his neck was the cause of death. They must have our liars. At what point do we start believing liars? Yeah, we never should, right? Susan, lawlessness is running amok. Stephanie said, yeah. So we're hearing all of these things, and I'll tell you what, whether you think that cop is guilty or not, or the other cops, I'm fired up. Hot dang. I know, Joe. Sorry. You need to respect the law. What if this were you? What if this were your relative? You would want to have the justice system do their job where justice is served. These cops, I don't know where you're going to try these people, because they have been tried in the public arena all over the 50 states. And how are they going to get a fair trial? How are they going to get a fair trial? And I know some people say, well, they shouldn't get a fair trial because they're guilty. Okay, judge and jury, that's what you think. Let's see. Where can Chevin get a fair trial with his uproar? Everyone has an opinion on it. That's true. Bonnie, no one's going to be able to get him a fair trial anywhere. I don't know if he's guilty of murder. Facts matter. They do, Sally. They do. Investigate first. Don't judge before the facts are in. And like I said, Robin, they're going to have to call a ton of experts. Yeah. I mean, George Floyd's background doesn't, I mean, while it's great to know who George Floyd was, it has nothing to do with this case. Let's talk about how the crowd makes the cop feel offensive. They have to watch their backs too, Shell Shocker said. The ex-cop deserve a fair trial. Remember, in this country, we're innocent until proven guilty. Well, are we? Are we, Brian? Is that the way it really is anymore? Because I don't think so. I think we're guilty until proven innocent these days. Think that police officer will have to be tried without a jury? I hope not. And something like that, that wouldn't be good. No, there are cops that have done wrong, but not all law enforcement is brutal. It's true, Bonnie. It's true. But does that matter anymore? Because the narrative is these days, all cops are bad. All white people hate all black people. All black people hate all white people. I mean, that's the narrative. That's what people want you to believe when it isn't what the truth is. All I know is that too, I don't know if you guys can feel it like I can. That's most of the problem. Politicians and judges don't even follow the law. Well, Noelle, then we have to overhaul our justice system in some way. If that's the case. Thank you for your show, Susan. Thank you, Molly. Neighbors say they didn't know that Chauvin was a cop. Well, that doesn't mean anything either. Most officers are good people. A few bad ones doesn't call for what's been happening. I don't know who was Hispanic or not. I don't really know. Susan, some of the comments on these sites that showed the violence, these people were saying that they were going to destroy residence areas and rural areas. They say they're going to take back what's theirs. I think these are the illegals that Obama brought in before he left the offices. These are sanctuaries. See, the thing of it is too, you got people on social media saying, but Noelle, we can't have regular citizens making the law. Somebody, that's the job of the Congress is to legislate. Nobody hates a bad cop worse than a good cop. Exactly. But again, we're hearing all of these things on social media about what people have said. You don't know if those people are just sent out to stir up things or if they actually mean what they say. 95% all Democrat areas have the worst riots. It's true, fiddlesticks. It's true. That's true. It's true. Never let a crisis go to waste. Exactly, Bonnie. And they're absolutely doing that. Absolutely doing that. Whoever's in charge of all of these people and doing what they're doing, they're not letting a good crisis go to waste. That's for sure. But, again, remember, don't fall into this trap, what other people want you to fall into. Hey, Debbie, I know it's been quite a while. Where you been? They won't go into suburbs. They will be shot, Molly said. Did Floyd really No, I'm not even going to, Gary, I have no idea what he did. I have no idea. And, again, what Floyd did doesn't make a difference of whether or not he ended up dead. My friend from high school is a cop in Michigan and one of the kindest people I know. Exactly, Levon. I heard Barr is tracking phones if where the orders are coming from. I have no idea, Robin. It's scary for good people stuck in these riots. They need protection. Well, here's the thing, fiddlesticks. Knowing the way things are, and people do want to protest, but knowing that there's Antifa and other nefarious people out there who want to make this into a war, I would say stay home. That would be what I would say. So if you know that, hey, Northwester, if you know things are bad in a certain area, meaning there's going to be violence and crime, looting, blah, 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 don't go. Stay home. Stay home. And I'll tell you, I've had conversations with people too. A lot of what I've seen and are these white, they look like white students. And I say white, I guess there's Hispanic and Asian mixed into the group, but let's say lighter skinned white people or lighter skinned people in general who are in these crowds, because they either, I don't know, maybe feel guilty. And I've talked to parents over the weekend. Their kids feel in liberal colleges, they're white and they feel guilty. And so they feel that they have to go out there and they feel that they're white privilege and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here's what I have to say to the parents who say to me, I don't know what to do. I've been praying that the kids, will be okay and that my kids won't fall into that. Here's what I say to you. You're not going to like what I have to say. Take your kids out of the liberal colleges. If you have them in there, stop paying for them to go to the liberal colleges. Exactly. No good could come from joining the riots, even if it's just a virtue signal. Correct. Absolutely. But take your kids out of the liberal colleges. Quit saying, well, gosh, I hope it's okay. Or, well, gosh, I hope they learn. Or, gosh, I'd hate to take them out of the liberal colleges because, they're so close to graduating. I don't care. If you want to make a difference, if you want to make a change, you're going to have to actually make something happen. You're going to have to change. Take the kids out of the liberal colleges today. They can go back to school. They can go to another school. They can go to a trade school. Sorry, Gracie. But take them out. Quit paying for them. Quit paying for them to go there. Liberal teachers and professors poisoning their young minds. Yes. There are other colleges you can send them to where your money can be spent. They're just getting brainwashed. Absolutely. Tea skaters. Good morning. Solidarity. Good morning. People should be following David Harris Jr. and Terrence K. Williams. They know what's going on, as well as Diamond Silk and Candace Owen. Well, Thomas, that's true, but there are other people that know what's going on too. Like, hey, hello. Hey, Dora, good to see you. Exactly, Susan. Does liberal colleges breed socialism? So if what does one do if they come into your neighborhood? Protect yourself, Bonnie. Call the police and do whatever you have to do to protect yourself. Exactly. All the money spent on these colleges too. Yep. Yeah, she's hearing my voice gets louder. She doesn't like it because she's probably been around an abusive relationship from her last owner. So an abusive relationship. We're past the halfway point. So let's go ahead and share if we can again. And then we'll go into part 2. But the thing of it is, one of the things that I think that, people need to realize. Oh, great. I think I continue with your broadcast. Yes, continue. Please continue with my broadcast. There we go. I think what people are going to need to realize is that you're going to have to stop believing the BS. Stop believing everything that you hear. Hey, Monica, stop accepting it. My daughter just got accepted into MBA program at Pepperdine. Is that a liberal college? Oh, yes, you better believe it's liberal. Yeah. Dang, so shared, kicked me out, frozen, be right back. Sure, but we all need to know these names. Well, I think, Thomas, people do know these names. They're pretty familiar with them. My dog leaves the room, too, when my voice gets louder. She's a rescue dog that was also abused. I know, Ellie Mae. They really... They'd be good like dogs for PTSD. They are all liberal. Pretty much, tea skaters, pretty much. No sound. I think that's just for you, Shell Shocker. I think everybody else has sound. So, again, don't be part of the problem in believing everything that you hear, believe everything that you read on the social media. Research things for yourself. Liberal degrees promote protests. I've seen reams of their syllabuses. Yeah, I mean, you've got to just, again, if you think that the liberal colleges are bad for your kids, then take your kids out of the liberal colleges. It's just simple. And you know, and I know people are like, oh, I'm so guilty. I feel so guilty. Having my kids, you know, they want a great education from a great college. They want the name. Well, you're just adding to it then. Marxist professors and all, a lot of them are T-skaters, but you're just adding to the problem if you keep your kids in those schools. What do you think the president will say tonight, or did you already go over that? I was late, Lori said. I don't know what the president's going to say. I think he's just going to make Antifa a domestic terrorist group. I don't know. If my husband and I have allowed exchange our rescue hides, I know it's just, they really very sensitive to it. You know, again, our country is just, it's on fire. You know, it's on fire. Hey, Robin. It's absolutely on fire because the fires are being stoked by people. False reporting live claiming truck plowing into crowd where not one person hit. Well, Northwest, are you talking about the tanker from yesterday, or are you talking about something else? People are, public schools dumbed down our children, had a phone call and messed up my connection. No problem, Robin. It messed up everybody's connection. Something happened when I was sharing. So gun control is completely off the table now, and that's great. Yeah, the tanker. Northwester, I don't know what happened with that tanker. He did come through the crowd. I saw the video, and the crowd parted. He didn't hit anybody, but if he did that deliberately, that doesn't matter why he went through the crowd like that. That's not going to be allowed. I mean, if he did that to deliberately scare people or deliberately hurt somebody, whatever, that you can't do stuff like that. And I don't know what happened. Brainwashing my liberal colleges started in the 60s. I went to one in that practice. Think as I tell you to do, not what you think. Exactly, Bonnie. So, you know, make Soros a domestic terrorist and seizes hundreds of billions of dollars. Yeah, I don't know, but you got to prove that Soros is doing it. And you've got to prove that he gave them the money and with the intent of doing that, or he knew they were going to do that, blah, blah, blah. There's so many who knows about a FedEx dragged a person. It wasn't the driver's fault. Why didn't the MPD and guard close the freeway if they were allowing protests? See, I don't know, Stephanie Crow. I don't know if they did close the freeway or they didn't close the freeway. I have no idea. And see, we don't know. There's T-skaters. I've been to a lot of liberal colleges, trust me. So I know some of them are Marxists. I don't know if all of them are. Democrats love Soros and his funding. Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. What other stuff? Also, let me just say this. We always say too about celebrities. Boy, I don't like these celebrities. You know, I don't like what they're doing. But are we continuing to watch these celebrities? Chrissy Teigen, one of them, offering to pay $200,000. Is blocking a highway considered a legal protest? No, unless you're allowed to do that by the police officers. How do we come back from this? Well, Sally, first we have to get the criminals off the street. That's how we come back to it. He did the same in Syria and Ukraine. He does it all over, Noel. I bet Soros would admit if he admitted the happiest time of his life, Nazi occupation. Yeah. My mom had a stroke within the last week and is in hospital, not doing well. Oh, Debbie. Are you able to see her with all the pretend COVID stuff that now seems to be gone? Let's see. Yeah, Chrissy Teigen. Boycott Hollywood altogether. So, I mean, seriously, you got to stop watching these people. And I know it's difficult, and maybe that means we have to get off TV altogether at some point. I don't know. I watch a lot of pure flicks, to be honest with you, because I've got enough hate during the day looking at the news that I go to something that is a little bit more reasonable. I'm sorry to hear that some things didn't change. My hubby's National Guard unit was called up to quell the Albuquerque riots in 71, and they weren't given ammo then either. That's ridiculous, Linda. She is so hateful. Ellie Mae, she's really, I don't know if her husband is like that, but boy, she sure is. Do I like pure flicks? Yes, I do. Yeah, I can see a movie. I don't have to worry about every other word being F this and F that. The movies have a good moral message to them. Oh, wow. You keep in touch by phone. Wow. I have a growing list of celebrities that I boycott. Yeah, Mike. So, I mean, we're going to have to change. And can I just be honest with you? Because of where we are, meaning, in the end times, I think that TV is going to become less and less important to us. I think celebrities will become less and less important to us. And I think that movies will become less and less important. I think, as I said before, we need to focus our attentions elsewhere. And it's not going to be on garbage as much as we have in the past. Celebrities are not my heroes. I am Christina. Yeah, not mine either. I have PureFlix, canceled Netflix long time ago, Henry said. Yep, they are irrelevant and they can't stand it. Yep, good morning, Renee. I do too, Susan. I think gathers like this will be our future, Sally said. Hey, Flores. Yes, we have lived without TV for a long time. We choose what we watch. It helps. It helps you because, the regular movies, it's all filled with hate. There's all an agenda that they have to push on you. Mostly it's the liberal agenda. And so when you watch it, programs on TV are just pure garbage anymore. I'm watching less and less. I know, Cully. They already have Hollywood produces Satan's work, and it is clear to see now. Yeah, so PureFlix, I like it. I mean, again, there's a message. There's a nice message. And it's, they're better movies than they used to be when like the old Christian movies, they were kind of like bad acting and stuff. So it's better, better than it used to be. And again, there's some wholesome, I know there's PureFlix. That's it. Fiddlesticks. There's wholesome movies about wholesome things that we don't have much of anymore. We're not allowed to talk about that. Who news movies with all the drama playing out in real time? Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Fiddlesticks. So, that's why I've kind of changed over and started watching that. I watch reality TV like 90 Day Fiance. Yeah, but Sally, know that, and I watch reality TV too, but know that it's not really reality because they make a lot of that stuff up. Grey's Anatomy and Station 19 push liberal BS every episode. Yep, don't watch it. No, don't watch either one. Does PureFlix have any series? Yes, Cindy, they do. Yep. Fiddlesticks. Northwester said. I don't know if you had a chance to read my article at susanknowles.com. If you didn't, I would encourage you to go there. There was another black man who died on Friday. Nobody seems to care. Why? Because it doesn't fit their agenda. Who was this black man? Well, his name is Dave Patrick Underwood. He was a man that had worked in Oakland, California at this federal building for about the last 9 years. He was contracted with the Department of Homeland Security. He was watching over everything during the riots. He and another guy. I don't know about the other guy. But a car pulled up, supposedly, and just started opening fire on the two of them. Mr. Underwood was killed. Well, his sister was running for Congress in California. She dropped out of the race, though, before. It only matters if a non-black kills a black, So, hello from Ireland. Hey, Mike Smith. So anyway, he's dead, senseless death at age 53. A picture of him, he looks like he was a great guy. Who was, smiling in the picture. He looked like a very nice man. And his crime was going to work that day. So if Black Lives Matter, how come this life doesn't seem to matter to the Black Lives Matter people? That's my question. Because it matters to me. It matters to me that an innocent man was killed. I don't care what color his skin is. I know that's a shocker, but a man died and nobody seems to care because we're out there looting and rioting and everything else. That Dallas store owner died. That video, watching that happen to him was so hard to watch. Danielle, I just said where that was. Oakland, California, federal building, a man who was working at the federal building. I read it, Susan. Nobody talking about this respectable man. Nope, not a person. Black Lives Matter, then abortion would have 70% lower rates. Yep. It's okay, Danielle. I mean, Susan, watch as little as possible of what's being out there, the news, movies, etc. Don't watch regular TV at all, Wanda said. Yep. Yeah, ironic that we just sent up a space capsule named the Dragon. You know, Stephanie Crow, I thought we could have had a better name, honestly, than the Dragon. Black Lives Only Matter, political, hate can be made, let's be honest. Yep. And yesterday, not that anybody seems to care, because it went sort of unnoticed, churches in California basically defied the Supreme Court yesterday and reopened their churches on Pentecost Sunday. And we just kind of, it was like, oh, okay, that happened. That's great. All right. Yeah, apparently no lives matter these days. It's apparently. Have you heard or seen the 10 houses on fire argument? How do you respond to that? I don't know what the 10 houses, 10 houses on fire. Do you mean biblically speaking, Levon? I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about Revelation, I'm not an expert in Revelation, so I don't know. Dragon from a speech, I think, with John Glenn's last speech. I have an appointment, guys. Thanks, Susan. Okay, Shill Shocker. Let us know how everything goes. Let's see. You see what time it is. All right. So right now we're going to have a public reading of the Bible. Fathers do matter. Mothers matter. Everybody matters. I saw that, Susan. Churches have to continue to gather and exercise rights. Exactly. Elon Musk named it. Only DNC tells us who matters, who is murdered. Now, that's right, fiddlesticks. It's ridiculous. Again, we just... If you are somebody who is a Christian, does the fireman hose down all houses or the one on fire? I say, Levon, they hose down all of the one on fire, but if 10 are on fire, then you hose up all down. So, I mean, holy cow, that coffee cup has its own gravitational field. It's huge. This is not a coffee cup. This is water. And it's so you don't have to worry about the UV rays, the BPHs, or whatever the heck is in them. The riots just handed the election to Trump, T-Skaters said. The capsule was named Endeavor by the 2 astronauts. Good. That's really good. Yeah, but if we get to the point where we're saying, I don't know, Levon, if this is what the point you were making, but if we get to the point where we don't care about innocent people who have died, but we're focused on one person only, then I think we're doing a disservice to everyone. I don't watch TV unless it's old reruns like The Rifleman. I know, Bonnie. All right, so we are going to start at Revelation, chapter 17, a public reading of the Bible while we still have the ability to do that. The Scarlet Woman and the Scarlet Beast. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and talked with me, saying to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the king of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, which was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, having in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornications. And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. Doesn't it seem like we're there right now? I don't know, just me. I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. The meaning of the woman and the beast. But the angel said to me, "Why did you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast that you saw was and is not and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go to perdition. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is. Here is the mind here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen. 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. The beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th, and is of the 7th, and of the 7, and is going to perdition. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will have their power and authority to the beast. They will give the power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. Then he said to me, the waters which you saw, where the harlot sits, are people, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind, and to give their kingdom to the beast, until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman whom she saw is the great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. Hey, Jonathan, good to see you. BLM, Black Lives Matter. The new BLM argument is that 10 houses on the street are important, but only 1 is on fire, so focus must be on the house on fire, even though all are important. Well, that's the way they look at it, Levon. And if I had 10 children standing there and 1 child screaming and the other children are just crying, I'm not going to ignore the 9 others. Just me. But, whatever. Chapter 18, the fall of Babylon the Great. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. Whoops. That was weird. Is everybody still on Periscope? That it started to go off. It's weird. The meaning of the women and let's see. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive her plagues. Okay, cool. For her sins have reached to heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Render to her just as she rendered to you, and repay her double according to her works. In the cup which she has mix double for her. In the measure that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, in the same measure give her torment and sorrow. For she says in her heart, I sit as queen, and am no widow, and will not see sorrow. Therefore her plagues will come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her. Let me see what time it is. Okay. The world mourns Babylon's fall. The kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived luxuriously with her will weep and lament for her, and when they see the smoke of her burning, standing at a distance for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for all in 1 hour your judgment has come. And the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, for no one buys their merchandise anymore. Merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every kind of object of ivory, every kind of object of most precious wood, bronze, iron, and marble, and cinnamon and incense, fragrant oil and frankincense, wine and oil, fine flour and wheat, cattle and sheep, horses and chariots, and bodies and souls of men. The fruit that your soul longed for has gone from you, and all the things which are rich and splendid have gone from you, and you shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things who became rich by her will stand at a distance for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour such great riches came to nothing. Every shipmaster, all who travel by ship, sailors, and as many as trade on the sea, stood at a distance and cried out, when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What is like this great city? They threw dust on their heads and cried out, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city in which all who have ships on the sea became rich by her wealth, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. Finality of Babylon's fall. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence the great city Babylon shall be thrown down and shall not be found any more. The sound of harpists, musicians, flutists, and trumpeters shall not be heard in you any more. No craftsman of any craft shall be found in you any more, and the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you any more. The light of a lamp shall not shine in you any more, and the voice of bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you any more. For your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorcery all the nations were deceived, and in her was found the blood of prophets and saints, and all who were slain on the earth. All right, I'm going to stop there. The world is Babylon. We are commanded to come out of her and be separate. We are in the world, not of the world. Good point, Stephanie Crow. Could America be spiritual Babylon? Yes. I think so. I mean, again, if you don't feel that we're in the last days of the end times, then I don't know what to say. I really don't. Because I think all of this is because of the fact that we are in a spiritual battle in the end times, and we're deep into the end times. You're welcome, Lori. And I think, again, we need to focus on God, not so much on the news, not get so wrapped up into every video. What we are seeing out there in most of the people in those videos, thank you, dear, take care of yourself. Thank you, Molly, is that that's demonic. Those people are demonic filled spirits inside of them. And I think that you have to remember that. Rabbi Jonathan Cahn has said that we will experience another book of Acts, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall be corrupt by flatteries, but the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. So keep focused on God. Know that we are in a tremendously horrible spiritual battle that is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. But you need to pray that God will lead you through it. President Trump unloads on the nation's governors on a call, calls on them to step up. Yeah, good luck with that one. They do need to step up. We need to examine ourselves right now and set our eyes upon the things above, get right with the Lord. Exactly, Stephanie. And give yourselves a break, right? Know that you're not a bad person. Know that the people around you are not bad people in general. Don't look at somebody's skin color, and I know you don't, but anybody listening to this, don't look at somebody's skin color and think you know everything about them, or that they're bad because they have a different skin color from yours. And I know most people don't feel that way anyway. Demon spawn are losing and are in their death throes. Yeah. The Satan right now is knowing that he has a very short time left. Blessings to everyone today. Stay safe. Thank you, Susan. God has it all in hand. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. God bless you. Please share this with everyone if you will. God willing, we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. God bless. All right, everybody. Take care. God bless you. Please share this if you will, and we'll see you again hopefully tomorrow.